In this video, we're going to discuss a very important principle called the pursuit is the path. The pursuit is the path. So whenever you set out to achieve a goal or an outcome, one of the biggest questions you have, especially if you're doing something that you've never done before and it's totally new to you, is how am I going to do this? How am I going to get from where I am to where I want to be? Because I know my goal, but I've never performed the steps that it takes to get there. Where do I begin? For example, if you set out to write a book and you've never written a book, there are so many variables to that process that are unknowns to you initially. Or if you've never started a business and you're about ready to start a business, again, a lot of things in that process to going from never having a business to starting a business that are totally familiar to you. And we often get caught up in this idea of focusing our attention on those unknowns to the path of our outcome. And we look at it and we go, oh no, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? And that creates a sense of fear. Unknowns are equal fear. And that fear, those sense of unknown, really cause us to delay even starting down the path because we think, I don't even know where to begin, right? And that may be something that you say to yourself, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin. I've heard this numerous times with people I've talked to in the past about achieving goals. I don't know where to begin. And so it stops people from moving forward toward achieving their goal. And what's interesting though about this is that this isn't a phenomenon that exists when you're traveling in the real world, because the principle is still the same. When you are heading out on vacation and you're going halfway across the country, that's your destination, that's your goal, that's your outcome. Now, do you get scared or do you not even get in the car because you can't see all the roads that it's going to take to get from where you are to that destination? You can't see all the roads that take you to your end destination. You don't. But that doesn't prevent most people. I've never known someone to say, you know what, I can't see all the roads, so I ain't going on vacation. No, they don't do that. That's absurd. It's absurd to do that. Because why? You understand that the process of travel means that you're going to start here, and the path to getting to where you want to be is going to unfold as you start the travel process. The pursuit is the path. So as you get in your car and you drive to your first destination, you got a full tank of gas, you drive to your first stopping point, wherever that may be, you know that the next point that you go to after your stopping point, there's going to be another stopping point and another stopping point. You never fear that you're going to run out of roads or that there's going to be a place where you're just kind of lost. I don't know where to go after this the stop that I'm stopping at to get gas. I don't know, there's a road here, but what do I do? No. You just know, basically, you could, if you wanted to, without a map, just get in the car and head in the general direction of where you're headed and your outcome, and you would eventually get there one little chunk at a time. That's why you don't fear it, because you don't need to see the entire destination to go. You just need to know how to get to the next stop, and the next stop, and the next stop, and the rest takes care of itself. So the path unfolds as you move forward. And when it comes to achieving goals, it's the same thing, the same way it works. When you set out to achieve a goal, you're not going to see all the steps in the process of getting to your end destination, right? The methods and the resources for attaining what you want are only going to become clear when you start taking action. You have to take action before the steps or the path starts to become clear, or the methods or the resources that you need become obvious and evident and clear to you. But you have to take the action first. And this always reminds me of something that happened in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, a movie from 1983, I think it was, or 85. But there's a scene in the movie where Indiana Jones is trying to save his father because his father's been shot. And he has to go through these 3 challenges in order to get to the cure for his father. And one of the challenges that he has to go and face is a leap from the lion's head. And that's the name of the challenge. And what it is he is at the end of a cliff. Indiana Jones is at the edge of a cliff. And between him and the cure, which is on the other cliff, a cliff over there, is this big crevice, this big deep valley. And there's no seemingly possible way of getting from this cliff to that cliff without falling down into the valley to death, essentially. There's no apparent way of doing it. But the challenge is that he has to take a leap of faith from the lion's head. So there's a lion's head at the cliff that Indiana Jones is sitting in, and that's the point. You have to take a leap of faith toward the cure, the cliff that has the cure. He has to do that, and it has to be a leap of faith. And so he sits and thinks about this for a second. He thinks, I've got to save my father, and I'm sweating bullets. I don't see how I'm going to get from here to there because there's a big, deep drop. But I got to take a leap of faith and assume that when I take this step, that the path is going to show up. And that's exactly what happens. He closes his eyes, he takes a deep breath, and he takes a step toward that other cliff. And you know what? He doesn't fall to his death into that crevice. Why not? Well, because hidden to him before he took the step, there was a bridge that he didn't see. And he was only able to see the bridge and make it out only after he took the first step. After he took the step, the bridge became apparent. It became visible to him. But he had to take a leap of faith first in order to get to that point. And it's the same way with achieving our goals. We have to do things, and we have to have a leap of faith, so to speak, and just start moving toward our goals and expect the resources, the understanding, the knowledge, the methods, the strategies for getting it done will become apparent to us as we step forward into taking action. So how do you use this? Well, the main way that you can use this information is that instead of focusing on all the steps of achieving a goal, just focus on the next step. Okay, what is the next step in a goal that you want to achieve? Just the very next step. Learn what you need to learn to do that step, and then do it. And then repeat the process. Just focus on the next step. Don't worry about all the steps, just the very next one. So let me give you a quick example. Let's say, for example, you want to start creating a video course online, maybe perhaps on Udemy, as I like to do. So you might think, I've never done that before. There are so many steps to that process, and there are some steps to that process. But the trick is to just do the very first step. What would be the first step in making that a reality? Well, I would say it would be signing up. So go sign up. That's step number 1. Do everything you need to in order to sign up. Then the next step would be to perhaps click a button that's on the website that says create your course. That's step number 2. That's all you had to deal with up to this point, step 1 and step 2. Now what would be the next step? Maybe the next step would be learning how to record a video. The fourth step would be how to take that recorded video and upload it to Udemy as the first video of your course. So you're taking one step at a time and focusing simply on that one step, not all the steps, and getting overwhelmed to the point where you just shut down, don't want to even go. You focus on the next step only, performing it, getting it done, and as you do that step-by-step process, the path to your outcome will become clearer.